Tank After Show, the dramatic season conclusion. Episode 29, we're talking Pete and Pedro. I don't get the name. PMS Bites, Felt, Pavlock, and a weird update that's kind of, I don't know, self-massaging. Find out next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I love that.
That's right, everybody. Welcome to the season finale after show for Shark Tank Season 7, Episode 29 on AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm Cameron Lewis, at the only Cam Shaft on Twitter and Instagram, right here, sitting to my left.
Hi,
as always.
Jumping the gun there.
Please introduce yourself.
You said
It's
sitting
all
to my, you said sitting to my left. I didn't know there was an as always coming. Actually, I was gonna. This is Zoe Hewitt, but I was going to say I didn't know that a camshaft was a car part. I just learned that tonight. So big exciting news. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What. And to my left, as always,
Chris Howard.
There it is. You gotta jump in.
I wasn't fast enough.
You gotta get there while there's still time.
I did not know that a camshaft was a car part either.
Should everybody just think I was a perv this whole time?
yeah,
What the hell?
Yes.
pretty much.
That's the only camshaft. Okay. Chris Howard. You can reach me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram. Also, legendarylivingdaily.com and legendarylivingtv.com. I had to get it in there. It's the finale.
There it is.
And sitting to
Lott
your left.
Jr.
James.
Hi. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere.
There it is.
Succinct. Beautiful.
To the point.
No sexual innuendo.
Nothing.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Season 7, episode 29. There's 29 episodes in seasons, all coming to an end right now, with probably the most dramatic conclusion we could possibly have, in my opinion. At least, I mean, the censors were happy. They were active.
Kevin said, "Get the fuck out."
Kevin, that's what he said. Bleep. He did. I think that was the first time he was. He kind of broke character, I think, a little bit.
A little bit.
Because normally he's like, and he just went and said, "Hey, you know what? Get the hell out.
No, he said, "Fuck."
Go to hell."
And he said, "You're an asshole
did.
too." He said, "You're." Yeah.
He did.
Sorry, Zoe.
Fact.
Yes, I've never heard those words before. Thank you.
Overall, you haven't.
Did I get a snort already?
Yeah,
It did already. It's already early
The
on.
snorting's begun.
The snorting has begun. What I was going to say is,
Yeah.
I always wonder, because they film a bunch of these at one time. They film a bunch of these, and they sometimes they have them out of order. They're not always in order.
The pitches and stuff?
Yeah, Alpha M talks about it. We're going to talk tonight. He does a video about the process and how it's like 3 hours. They cut it, they whittle it all down. So I always wonder how they choose which ones to air, like that last guy.
Yeah.
So I always feel like, well, if it was really bad, they shouldn't air it, but it's good for ratings. That's why they aired it.
I think I'd be good at that job. I would stare at the camera and like watch somebody itch their nose and be like, we can probably make that look like you flipped him off.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's gonna be the last one.
Well, they do it on reality TV all the time. They
Yeah.
make the dramatic pauses when the girls are at a dinner table, like their fighters sitting there.
Oh yeah.
Now, no one does that in real life.
Have you guys seen that show
Same
Unreal?
shot.
Have you seen
yeah,
Unreal?
Unreal, yeah,
That's
Unreal,
awesome.
It's factual.
Yeah.
I mean, I met with a couple reality producers in the past. They always talk about Frankenbiting, and they played this one clip. I think it was from The Bachelorette, and they play it before it was Frankenbitten. And they play it after. And the original sentence was like, yeah, I went to the mall and thought about buying this thing for her, and she was kind of terrible. And after the edit, it was like, she's a bitch!
Yes, exactly.
It's like, whoa!
How'd you get that out of there?
It's pretty crazy.
They do. So I always watch Shark Tank. I just wonder how, because they whittle things down anyway for a person.
Yeah.
But which ones actually go on the air? I think some of them are meant to be like that last one. Of course, that's the season finale.
The finale,
So,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But and to that point, like because I use that product, I have one. So when we get to it, it's kind of interesting. And I've been watching how they did their original financial raises, their capital raises on crowdfunding.
You have a
on
Pavlock?
Kickstarter. I have one.
Wow.
I was going to bring it tonight,
Did you
but
bring it?
no, everything was in storage.
You do that?
Yeah.
Actually, he told me right before the show.
Oh, okay. I was like, go on, girl. So we'll get to that
Yeah,
part.
I
I guess
have
you can
one.
really talk about it then. What you think about
So
it?
before we get into the pitches, any overall thoughts of this season? Any standout products? Any standout moments?
I found this season uneven to me.
Yeah? And what do you mean by that?
Like, some episodes were blah and some episodes are great. for me.
I kind of felt like there was...
there were a couple episodes recently that I was just like, it's almost none of the products did anything for me. It was just kind of like not exciting to watch. Just like some of them were kind of bland. But then some episodes were really good. So I feel like it was just kind of like up and down for me this season.
How about you guys?
I thought the after show was great.
The one on AFTERBUZZ?
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
guys are so funny.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree.
I think my favorite part of the season actually was when Chris Howard live here was looking at his phone and said, "Oh look, someone said we're the best hosts ever," and then realized that it was AFTERBUZZ tweeting and saying we were the best hosts ever. So that might be my favorite part of the show.
And then you told him that, and he said, "Sorry, Chloe."
And then we had the squatty potty.
The squatty potty, yes.
That's not from this season.
But we had it arrived in studio.
James brought it in.
And in my home.
Yes.
This is the season of the dude wipes.
Yeah.
This is the season of
The
milk
jerky?
and brookies.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the season.
Chili.
The chili.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
When I go to the toilet now, like the other day, I was having an especially hard time, so I look and there's a little trash can inside the cubicle with me. So I turned the trash can on its side, and I figured, what if I put my feet up like this?
Yeah.
And I'm in the inside the stall with my feet up on a trash can, and people are probably wondering what I'm doing in there.
Podcast
You told me it works.
It does work.
I do not even know what to say.
I had a visitor the other day that was at my apartment for the first time to walk into the bathroom, and they come out and they said, "You know what? I respect a person who has a squatty potty." And I was like, "That's right."
Was somebody at my house recently peed on my squatty potty?
On purpose?
No, I don't know. Like, who missed the toilet? I'm like, I don't understand. And I had mostly women at my house. So I'm like, who missed the toilet?
It's because you didn't have that little handle thing to catch the pee.
Yeah,
That's why. That's right.
Yeah, there's that
Bring
too.
all the winners back.
Bring all the winners back. Bring all the winners
You
back.
know what I remember too? I remember more the person, and now it was, I think, before you two were on the show with us.
This is a long
The
time
woman
ago.
with the big eyes. Do you
Oh,
remember
yes.
her? I don't remember the product. It was some kid's product, maybe a plate or something. Oh, it was
It
the
was
plate.
like a
it was
Pixar
the
character.
And so she stands out in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. I also.
We also had Spretz, the thing with the spray in the mouth and the hand.
And a fresh
Yeah,
sheet.
spreads.
Okay,
We had a lot of guests, and by the way, I want to thank everybody who came on the show this season because we had a lot of businesses and the people behind the businesses come on the after show. That was amazing. We saw a bunch of people and got to grill them to death. And thank you for dealing with us. Is what I'm trying to say. No, but yeah, I agree. I think for me this season there was a lot of. It seemed like there was a lot of products that were existing products with modifications.
Okay.
There weren't too many, I wouldn't say, that I saw that blew me away. I was like, I didn't know I needed that.
Yeah, like seasons past,
You know?
there were a lot of animal products too this season.
Yeah.
It seemed like there were a lot of just
Yeah.
animal kind of like the bites, the this, and that, just like different animal things. The catcher and the rye.
Oh, yeah,
Catcher
the
and the
catcher.
rye.
The pea catcher.
God.
I just want to say hello to Fancy Stats Guru, Jazz
yes.
4773. They're in the house.
Much
Nice.
love
Yes,
to
sir.
Fantasy
They're
Stats
part of
Guru
our
and the
13.
gang.
They were the memorable moments. Zoe's fan.
Yes, so he's fan.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like that it's fan in the scene.
Fan.
There are two of them in that chat.
Yes, they're there. We got 5 people watching.
Love you guys.
Yeah, so it's just kind of it's a lot of animal products, a lot of clothing. It's a lot of clothing stuff. And then we had some actually really strange products, like the Ziploc bag for a car.
I think, yeah, that's right. That was last week, right?
That was last week,
And
yeah.
you know what I'm still trying to try is that 3 Jerks jerky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and every time I go on the site to think about ordering it, it's so expensive, you guys. So I just can't bring myself to click buy it.
There you go.
I'll click it for you. I'll come over and click it. Make it happen.
I appreciate that with my credit card
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'll do it for you.
I'm happy to provide that service to anybody who wants to give me the credit card. I think one of my favorites was the Instafire.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was a
blew
good
me
That was
bit.
really cool.
Oh, way.
I was in. I was all in.
Yeah.
Yes.
That freaking thing, I don't...
Those mountain guys, I was in.
And
I was in.
they're just so amazing.
Yeah.
That thing, it was awesome.
Yeah, float on water too.
Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
mean, that's
float
what I'm
on
saying.
water, yeah.
It floats on water, but you can put it out with water? How does that work?
Oh, you know what that makes me think of? And I didn't even think of this when we were doing the show. I have some little candle holder thingies that I bought at the fair. No, they're and it reminds me of that now that you say it about floating on water because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
actually oil. So all you do is take like a little piece of tissue and you put it through the center and then you light it on fire and you put oil and water and so it's fire on water.
Oh.
I just thought of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good connection.
I can use your credit card. Order some. Why don't we get into the pitches, and we'll remind you guys somewhere along the way who we are and where you can listen to the podcast. But until then, let's talk about Pete and Pedro.
Which is Peter in 2 languages.
Peter and thank you for
Peter and
translating.
Pedro.
100K for 10% is what Aaron came into the tank seeking.
Also known as the donkey, half a donkey or something.
Yeah,
He's
the
a little donkey.
business. So I guess this is the hair product that is actually turning out to be this gentleman who runs a digital media business under his moniker Alpha M. Does he call himself Alpha M?
Yeah, okay, so I follow him. He's on YouTube. He has a bunch of videos on men's grooming and tips and stuff. I like him a lot. He has a great personality, very sharp, quick videos. He goes by Alpha M. His real name is Aaron Marino, and he goes by Alpha M. That's his
So that's what he calls himself. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just the channel name.
No, that's his name, his channel, everything. He's really cool.
Did you follow him before Shark Tank?
Yes, I did.
He did, yeah. On YouTube, what is it, James? 5.5 million views a month, 600,000 subscribers plus. And he makes a lot of money from friggin' YouTube.
He does. I've seen some of his endorsements.
600 million or
600,000 in 1 year. Yeah.
$600,000 a year.
That's wild.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That seems pretty high for somebody. I mean, 600,000 subscribers is a large amount.
Yes.
But that seems like a lot of money for even that subscriber amount. I feel like I know people that have 1 million plus subscribers.
I'm sorry, how many subscribers? There's
600 plus thousand.
600 plus thousand. Yeah, I mean, I bet you he could do it with even less than that. Interestingly enough, but it's still amazing. Yeah, and for him to roll out another product at 800,000 is like, wow.
The thing is, he has a personality. If you watch his videos, somebody like me, I'm not into YouTube videos, and I'm hooked on him.
But you're sexy on video.
I'm talking about me, about him. I'm not really into I'm not really into looking at YouTube videos for help or anything. But for him, I've been watching him for years. For some reason, his personality just jumps out. He's a good-looking guy. He has great hair, great personality, and I think that's why he makes the money he does. I think.
Well, and YouTube is a personality-driven business, and that I think DIYs and stuff do really well on there. And so it's interesting that he kind of found that niche. But this pitch brought up a very interesting question, which was investing in the business versus investing in the person. Is the person a business? And if he has a product and he's promoting different products in his own sideline of work, what is the line in the middle? Do you guys agree? I mean, most everybody, with the exception of maybe Robert a little bit, but he was even kind of on this ship too. All of the Sharks were saying, we need to invest in the full business, the product plus you. And I don't know, do we think this is a fair argument? To me, we know a lot of people, like actors, musicians, and all these people that have side brands that they own or whatever, but then also work for other people. So I don't know. This seemed like murky water to me. What do you guys think?
I agree. I think. I mean, they just want. They're greedy. They're sharks. They want everything. So to me, it makes sense they ask for that.
Yeah.
But to me, no, there were two separate things. To me, he's asking about this work on this product, make that lots of money. That's just other stuff. It's like saying. I mean, I don't know. I just think it should be separate. I agree with Alpha.
I don't think that they would invest. Well, they're not going to do it. The question is, can you get the money? You know, is somebody going to invest in you for that for what you're pitching? And I think I was impressed that the Sharks sussed it out that quickly and said, hey, you know what? The guy doesn't care about this product. It's not about this product. I mean, he might care about it in relationship to this is one of the things I roll out, but really the business is more this pitch man, and he's good at pitching, and he has an audience. That's what I want to own a piece of, not the pitch of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoe, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Chris. And I'm actually kind of surprised, JLJ, that you're on the other side there, because I think that you can't, in this instance, you can't separate him from the endorsements and the other things he does. He's just too closely tied to it. Like, I used to work for a manager, and, you know, actors, managers take a percentage of everything. So it doesn't matter if you get a job endorsing a product or if you are acting on Grey's Anatomy. You are getting, your team is still taking a percentage because that's still part of you.
You know, they're saying that producers now are for talent, that they're building, they're looking to see if they can niche out a piece of the ongoing revenue for the rest of that talent's life in terms of the books that they do and that type of stuff. It's like, we made you. Yeah, it's like, what?
I think it's a fine line. I think it's just, I mean, you can have side projects where your management stuff doesn't get profits from that. It's just like your stuff.
I think that, but this is the difference, right? So there's a difference, I think, here between management or having a manager, like a talent manager, and an investment partner. Talent manager, they're the ones that do hold your hand through all of these different experiences, no matter what it is. Like, if you're a musician who wants to act one day, that's included in on that.
Right.
A business investment, it stands, to me at least, it seems like we're going to give you the money, you're going to do the work, we're going to be partners, but I'm not going to baby you, I'm not going to teach you necessarily. I don't know. I feel like it might be a different relationship. Either way, for me, I think that the happy medium here would have been, we'll make you a deal as long as in your side world, and this is based on the thought that they're even interested in this product to begin with, which seems like they're not.
Yeah.
They
but if
didn't
they
even pay
were,
2 seconds attention.
if they were interested in it, I would say a fair happy medium would be, we'll give you the money for the business, and on the contingency that you can't do any other kind of endorsement with a similar product.
Okay.
Like, you can't do, Axe putty for your hair or whatever. But you can go do a Mazda commercial if you want.
But the only issue that it comes into is they didn't care about the product because he didn't really care about the product.
Yes,
it's like
exactly.
because it wasn't about the product; it was about him.
I will agree.
It was
with
about
that.
him.
I don't necessarily agree. I'm going to disagree with you guys. I don't necessarily agree that he didn't care about the product. I just think that they were overwhelmed that he's a good pitch person, period. They liked his personality. And they're sharks. So I feel like I'm not surprised they want the whole
They
package.
saw the bigger potential.
Yes, I'm not surprised by it, but I personally wouldn't dismiss that he wasn't into the product as you guys are doing.
But see, I think it's different and the same from the manager. Like, clearly, right, it's different from the acting perspective.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same because the Sharks will be there with him whatever he continues to do. If he gives them advice, or if they give him advice now, and then he takes that same information and goes to pitch, say, Mazda, he has taken that information so he is learning from them. He's building on it. So I do think that they are partners in this. And of course, that's presuming that they are as involved as we are assuming they're going to be.
There's
So
that
there's that. They might not be. They might just say, right, here's your money. Call us when you have $1 million.
Yeah, but I mean, if they can get it, they'll take it. And that's the thing is like for when Mark, who was the guy that Mark invested in? He said, I'll invest in you, like aquavesting. Where I'm investing in the person
I don't remember, but
young guy, right?
Yeah.
So he invested in that person. I think that's what they looked at this deal as. Is they look at it and they go, okay, this guy's investable. I don't know that we have no interest whatsoever in the donkey business, but here's somebody who can do something. All right, I'll put $100,000 in for 10% of what you're going to do.
It's just so interesting that the thought that it's like, hey, James, I'm going to give you $1 million.
Stop breathing into the mic. I'm breathing into the mic.
I'm gonna give you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I heard you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
That's okay. I'll block it.
So, anyways, so the weird thing I think.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Anyone who's wondering why JLJ is spazzing out right now, it's because he just got a message to stop breathing into the mic. So anyone who
James,
heard that
for the next 40 minutes, don't breathe.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say is, it's a weird feeling, right? To say it's like somebody came up to you and said, "I'm gonna give you $1 million for 10% of you."
Right.
That's just a weird like that.
Right.
I know that happens on a daily basis
does, yeah.
with like talent and actors and everybody and blah blah blah. But I'm like,
yeah, no, that's.
But he
it
is
scares
the
me.
product.
I know, but it's so weird.
Because you don't know how much. That's saying I'm only worth $1 million in future value, and that's where I would have a problem with it. Like I had my last business partner. He felt very strongly that he should have a piece of anything that I did any place, and I was like, well, no.
Yeah.
But he had a different perspective. So for me, if you were to put that value on my play, you could be worth so much more than that. I mean, Cameron could be a big superstar, and
You're not wrong about that, Chris.
Yes. If you value yourself at $500,000 today, you could be undershooting the value.
Yeah. Did you all think that he was going to get a deal?
Oh.
Well, it just went in a direction that I didn't know it was going to go because I just didn't know because he didn't really go to Pedro. It didn't go that direction.
Yeah,
they didn't ask any questions. They didn't really ask anything about it.
Care.
You gotta hand it to him, though. I mean, he I
looked
feel like
good.
he took it. He looked good. He
looks great.
He was a great pitchman. Is that the right word? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
I think so.
He was a great pitchman, and then he also it sounds like a baseball position. He turned this very well. Like, he came in not expecting this to even be an offer, and he took advantage of it and ended up getting a deal with Barbara for, what was it?
25.
Was it 100,000?
100,000 for 10%.
And then she made it 225,000, I think. She upped it and said, if you give me 10% of the Alpha M business.
Oh yes, that's right. You're right, Chris.
Here, I have.
Yes.
You're right.
Only with the
Anyway,
Alpha.
so he ended up getting a deal with Barbara. Do we think Barbara was the right business partner? He also had an offer from Robert, 100K for 20%, and also had a offer
Kevin.
From
from
Kevin.
Kevin,
The same.
100,000 for 20%. Of those three, do we think this was the right offer for him to make?
I would actually like to see with Robert.
I was gonna say maybe.
That's what my
yeah.
thought was. Because
Mine too,
Robert seems more
yeah.
friendly to this field.
Yeah.
Barbara could probably figure it out, obviously, but
But he'll probably have more flexibility with Barbara, I
Yeah.
would think. But Robert would have been good. Yeah, Robert would fit well.
yeah.
Did you guys catch that sort of weird comment at the end? I wrote it down and I'm trying to read my curved writing. But Barbara says we're gonna have kids together. Didn't it weird anyone else out?
I didn't.
It could
Really,
have been
it's
the
at the
bottle of
very
gin
end.
under the table.
It just I think she was trying to be sort of fun and hip, but it weirded me out at the end.
Little pervy.
Yeah, a little uncomfortable because that's not her personality normally.
Yeah.
And she was trying to make a joke, but it felt like to me
It was probably
felt
forced.
flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll forgive. We like Barbara anyway.
That's right.
I do things like that.
Let's go around the table. James Lott Jr., in or out on... well, let's do... Are you in or out on Alpha M?
Well, I'm in on him anyway because I like him.
Chris Howard.
I'm out. Don't see.
Out?
There's value, but not. Yeah, I'm out.
Zoe Hewitt.
I'll be in on Alpha M, but only if it's Alpha M. I'm saying like Pete and Pedro, I'm out. I don't think he cares either.
I agree with you on that, so I'm going to do the same thing. All right, up next in the tank is hopefully an air conditioner for the studio.
Thank you.
There it is. Steven's on.
Thanks. PMS Bites. 50,000 for 20% is what they came in seeking. This is snacks for women who are PMSing. All natural, vegan, gluten-free, herbs that help with the symptoms.
Watching this, I felt like, yes, I'm going to be an expert.
Yeah, like you're the one.
I can do that.
You're the one.
I can make
girl.
coconut balls.
So, Zoe, I will go to you first.
Obviously.
What do you think of PMS Bites?
I thought it was a nice idea.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I mean, everyone gets cravings. So,
I like the move that you did with that.
dancing around
I thought it was a horrible business. I was surprised that they were even giving it the time of day.
Really?
All respect to Tracy. The reason why I say this is
Tanya?
or Tanya. I lived in. It's okay.
Oh,
Thank you,
it's
Chloe.
not just me.
Thanks, Chloe.
Back to you, Chloe.
Back to you, Chloe.
It's okay. You
No,
only
but
just
I
met Tanya.
lived in Ubud in Bali, and it was very yoga conscious. And all the restaurants there had these little chocolate balls and
Yeah.
matcha balls and all that type of stuff. So this is nothing new to me. And she called them PMS balls instead. But it's like these things are all over the place. You can get them any place, and she's only got $13,000 in sales, and she wasn't enthusiastic. She wasn't, and she said that she had come from this company where she was doing all the branding and all the marketing for this company. That I mean, I feel sorry for the company wherever she came from, because here she's got $13,000 in sales after 7 months. Oh my God! It's just
Yeah.
like a disaster waiting to happen.
Well,
I am.
she did say though when she listed that amount, she said she had the 13,000 in 2 months, but that was.
But that
7
was
months
busting
ago.
her ass, she said, for 7 months. She'd
Busting
done
it.
everything she could busting it. And this is a head of marketing and branding? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're
no,
gonna
I
do?
agree.
James,
She
do we have
wasn't-
somebody saying something in the chat room there?
Says that just like James is having the hot flash, I am apparently.
I think we all are.
I'm a big boy, and I'm just having a moment.
It's happening during the
that's
I'm
right.
breathing
PMS
heavily
Bites
apparently.
pitch.
We just
and
want
it's
him to
hot.
start
Do
taking
you
off.
want me to
the-
fan you?
No. This is a good angle right here. I'm left-handed.
All right. I am your greatest
What did
fan.
you think of this one, James?
What did I think? I like the idea of making it into something else, and then with maybe having the taglines, you can use it for things like PMS as whatever. I mean, I like the idea that it was vegan, gluten-free, 50 calories each, not bad.
Yeah.
Sounded good to me. I'd eat them.
Yeah.
And they also they tasted good too.
Yeah, they
I
also
think,
tasted
didn't
good.
But for $7, wasn't it retailing for $7?
$7 for 3.
Pricey.
Yeah, for 3 cookies.
Well, wait, I don't know.
How much is one of those Frere Rochers?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, they're so
How much are
good.
those
Right, but
things?
they're not cheap either.
They're not cheap.
See, maybe they're okay. There's a market for. I do agree, though. I think if it appealed to a wider audience,
Yeah, juice bars is what she
initially,
said. It's like-
then that would kind of make sense.
But see, I could totally see this at Whole Foods
Yeah, me
and
too.
people. I mean, because there are other things you can take for PMS, like Aleve is supposed to be particularly good.
But then you
See,
got to compete with anybody who would
but
put them out next.
To
I'm going to make
her
chocolate balls
argument
too.
against that,
You know,
Chris,
it's like-
to her own argument against it, because that was something that I think Robert had brought up. If she sticks with the PMS Bites name,
Right.
it does stick out on shelves.
Well,
So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
they're saying on here, of course, it just limits their possible clients. I would not buy something like that. Fastest Stats Guru says, even though they sound
Fastest
good,
Stats Guru.
they wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
But see, I always wonder when they say about cutting down the audience, because
Niching,
there are
yeah.
things that are definitely supposed to be
That's
just
true.
for men or
That's
just
true.
for
Yeah,
women.
that's true,
Sure, if you can appeal to 100% of the people, you're going to make more money in theory. But I mean, like, let's face it, pads and tampons, you guys wouldn't be buying them either.
Yeah, but those are have-to-haves, right? The
Well, for some people, yeah.
chocolate balls are have-to-haves too, right?
Not even. I was looking at me for. I don't know.
Look at me, I have to have.
Yeah, I'm like, you look at her. I'm like, me. I'm like,
Toaster strudels are half to half for men.
no, I mean, I
in my freezer.
think, when Chloe, I say Chloe.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Finish
my
it off that
God.
way.
You can find me at Chloe Said Love.
I know, like, oh my God, in heaven.
Chloe said who?
I agree with Zoe in the fact that there are some things that are, there's a fine line between target market and selling products that really are just for a target market, or doing the opposite and doing a big, large, broad blanket. And I think sometimes it's okay to have a target. Like we said, a small business, it's okay to be a small business sometimes and not a large one. So maybe it's
I
okay
think that
sometimes.
we're seeing more of that the more seasons we get through Shark
Yeah.
Tank. Because initially we had a lot of, I feel like we had a ton of businesses season 1, 2.
They won't be
come
big.
in for $50,000 for 45%.
Yes.
And it's like, oh crap, this is like initially a small business, and now we're seeing, what was it, 500,000 for 3.1.
Yeah, 0.14.
What the
Yeah.
hell? I don't know. There's something. I hope that in season 8 we do see a little bit more mom and pop type of things, because that's like the American dream.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
like our
I
custard
know.
stand chili.
Like the custard stand, chili, like the Scotty party. Reader rest was one of the initial
Like the
ones.
PMS balls, that's definitely fits that category.
I do.
PMS bites.
Yes, Zoe?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say that I think that her biggest problem here was that really she wasn't Alpha M. She
Right.
wasn't selling it.
Am I right? I agree.
agree.
I thought the product idea was a good idea, especially they all thought it tasted good, but she was not selling.
No.
it.
I know she came into the tank in character.
Right.
I don't think that was a good move.
No.
Big mistake.
But it didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
If she could
Hey
have gotten
Sharks,
out
you
of it
see I'm
better.
really
Yes.
motivated. It's like,
Because initially, I mean, we were watching it
Yeah.
earlier. I legitimately said out loud, like, she does not look happy
Yeah.
to be there.
Like, then she kind of announced, oh, this is like a character thing I'm doing. I'm like, oh,
But then she never,
yeah,
like,
show
came
us
out of
something
it, like,
different. How do we?
yeah, it fell flat.
Yeah.
When it went from to, oh, just kidding, that was a character. Acting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you did a great job.
Tracy.
Saved my
I
ass.
love
there.
that.
Tanya.
I know.
Tanya.
I
think it was Chloe.
Chloe.
Anyway, so everybody out on this one.
I don't
But
think
I
I'm
think
out.
she'll
Oh,
be
you mean the
fine.
sharks?
Yeah, the Sharks.
The Sharks are out. Yeah.
Okay, Zoe.
I was like, we didn't
Seat
vote
number
yet.
6. But let's go ahead and go around the table. Zoe, are you in or are you out?
I'm in. I think it's a good idea.
Chris Howard.
Out.
James Lott Jr.
I'm in.
Nice.
I am. Actually, I like the idea.
How's that
I
microphone smell?
am out.
Okay.
I'm out. But I think that she's gonna find success.
Oh, yeah, like I said, Whole Foods, Sprouts,
scale.
places like that. I can see it in places like that.
Sprouts,
Yeah, I love Sprouts.
Trader Joe's,
Trader Joe's. No, not Trader Joe's. I don't see it there.
Marshalls.
Burlington Cook.
Marshalls has that kind of stuff.
Next City kind of do.
They do, like the weird kind of, well, not weird, but the different food stuff.
Yes, they do.
Like that crazy food stuff. Hey, James, can you tell people where they can find the podcast, even though the season's over?
Yes, you can go ahead and find us on YouTube under AfterBuzzTV.com, and it's under Shark Tank After Show. We're also on iTunes under Shark Tank, under AfterBuzzTV.com. You can rate us, give us some comments, tell us how beautiful and wonderful we were this whole season. Actually, Chris and I came on halfway through the season, so we kind of been here half the time.
Tell Cam and I how beautiful.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we
The whole
were this
time they're here,
season.
and so please go ahead and do that. We love you.
There it is.
you
Binge watch.
Binge watch
I was
us.
gonna say, just because the season's over doesn't mean it's over for everyone.
That's right. Okay.
For you,
Shark
it's
Tank
just
and
begun.
chill. AfterBuzz and chill.
That should be the newest AfterBuzz show. Rewatching the after shows and talking.
Oh, let's
about
talk about the after shows. That's a great one.
The after
After
show.
And
Talking Dead.
Why should Shark Tank die now?
So what do you guys think? I mean, Chris called her Chloe again.
I got an idea. If there are reruns this summer, watch our show.
That's right. If there's reruns.
There's reruns.
That's right.
It'll be new to you.
Maybe we. Yes.
For a second, I swear I thought you said it'll be new to you and like a new nudie.
A nudie to you.
Yeah, and I was
Well,
like, whoa.
On that one episode we did. Look back. It's fine.
It's all about the camshaft.
Who knew it was a car part?
What's that next one in the tank? I believe it is felt.
You keep smelling that
200,000.
microphone. What is with that?
Huh?
Why do you keep smelling the
It
microphone?
smells good. 200,000 for 6%. I'm trying to really sell that breathing into the mic thing. Felt
You're-
200,000 for 6%. Quite possibly my favorite product.
I liked it a lot.
In a while. I mean, here's an example, right? So Mother's Day was recent. Was recent?
Yes,
Recently happened. My English is very off.
correct.
Recently, it was
Recently
Mother's Day.
happened. James Lott Jr. and I went out and bought greeting cards for our mothers and loved ones. We got one from my
Nice.
brother. And I never sent them.
You didn't send them?
Oh
No.
my god.
And we even met your mom. She came in.
Yeah, I got her something else.
Was she a nice
But
woman?
She was very nice.
And he didn't send a card.
I never sent them because where the hell do you buy a stamp? Don't say the post office. Because the post office is not
We
convenient.
know now where, remember?
7-Eleven has stamps.
Yeah, we just saw it the other day, Steven.
That's right.
I go, I never noticed that before. I'm like, it's a
Yeah,
stamp
but it's
thing.
like it's on a coin thing on the window. What the
Where
hell?
else do you get stamps, Cam? Come on.
I don't know.
I think the grocery store. I think you can buy them from the
grocery
grocery
store?
store. Although I do buy stamps still, and I buy them from the post office.
Actually, I think you can. I don't.
But yeah,
I've
but
never
I
done it.
love this because I don't have to go to the store.
Right.
I don't have to go buy a stamp. I
Right.
don't have to make sure I know how to ship something, put it in my mail thing. I live in an apartment complex. The post guy, the postal burger, he always loses, like literally, things do not deliver. So this is so exciting to me. And you can it's like the iPad thing. I've been looking for an excuse to use a stylus all my life. And this is the reason. And like the wedding application, I think is amazing. Thank you notes, graduations. If I could have sent 50 thank you notes at one time with just changing the name, and they didn't know about
Boy,
it,
no, no.
that would have been amazing.
Yes, actually, I agree.
I
with
think
that one.
business
Christmas
use in
cards
business
every
is
year.
far bigger than anything because, like, if you've got
Right.
a list of 300,000 people and you want to make it really homey, you can personally sign them. That's pretty cool.
I think
That's it.
my fear was when they first started the pitch, I thought it was going to be like, yeah, you pick a card, you handwrite it, and it gets delivered to the spam box of your email address. Because I thought it was, remember e-cards?
Right.
I got some for my birthday this year. I was like, they still do
This
that?
year?
Did you
Yes.
open them?
I got
In
3 of them.
2016?
Yes. No, seriously.
I did too. I got two.
I got 3. I got one that's
Those
still
are
waiting
the
for me. I have one
worst.
still waiting. I haven't looked at it yet.
See, that's the
Blue
point.
Mountain
Did you open
card,
them?
Blue Mountain card's waiting for you. Yeah, I'm like,
So you have one that you didn't even open.
is this
Yeah.
2005? Yeah.
I hope nobody listens.
I hope that person
I
is.
figured this because that
You know
was
what?
cheap and
Yeah,
chintzy.
throw 'em out.
I got it from people who actually know me, like who know me for years. You can't send me a goddamn card.
That's right.
I'm 47 years old, not 22.
I got a lot of text messages for the first time this year, actually. Usually, like people,
text?
usually people call or
Right.
at least Facebook. I was so surprised. I got so many text messages.
Oh, funny.
I mean, that's fine. I'm good with it.
you're
Thank
good?
you,
I
thank
love
you,
making the
everyone.
birthday.
It
for
didn't offend
celebrating.
you at all?
No, I don't think so. Like, they were nice messages from people I text normally, like from my
okay.
good friends.
I will say I've been on the other end of that birthday call where I call somebody, hey, happy birthday. And they go, thanks. What'd you want? I'm like, to say happy birthday. And they're like, oh, thank you.
What do you need?
Well, that's weird. Look at people you talk to. That's
Crickets.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a good phone call.
Good phone call, but I love felt because
like
this
it.
is.
I
I
do
feel
love
like
felt.
this is such a good idea. It's hard to believe this doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, I guess,
Apparently
yeah.
it does not.
Yeah.
But there's all of those where they got Shutterfly and
Photo. Just kidding.
And that's the big thing.
Walgreens.
That's the issue, though, is because there's no barrier to entry. Anybody can do it. Anybody can knock it off.
Yeah.
So how long a run is it going to get before somebody does something better?
Yeah.
Or before, unless there's some sort of proprietary technology.
Yeah. They didn't say anything about a patent, right?
They didn't.
How could you patent this? But no one brought up that this was just like Love Pop, which we saw earlier this
Oh,
season.
Love Pop.
because Love Pop, you can also get them to handwrite a message for
That's
you.
true.
You
But
type it, they handwrite
yeah.
it. So it's not
Yeah.
your handwriting.
Yeah.
But close enough. I mean,
But kind
yeah,
of.
it's a
I mean, there's
person
something to
who's
be said.
actually-
There's something to be said for the personal.
There's something nice about getting a birthday card and you can't read it because the person is terrible at
Oh my
handwriting.
God.
Something very special about
Maybe you
that.
can request that from Love Pop.
What?
You know, when you're sending your Love Pop card and you put your note,
Yeah.
you can put a note to them, perhaps. Please make it messy.
That's true.
Well, just
I
like as
love
I,
Pop to sound aggressive.
today I got 2 birthday cards today. Like my birthday was like 10 years ago, for my grandchildren, and like they wrote it, and so I'm thinking this would be a fun thing for them too. 'Cause they have tablets and stuff. It'd be something they can probably go on their tablet, and they want to send Papa Jamie a card. They can actually draw on it, and
I
they
agree.
normally do it.
Did
Send
they?
it out to me.
Did they even go into the financials? I don't remember.
No, not really. It's just
The
60.
only thing they said,
60,000
60,000 downloads since May 2013 in the App Store, 4.5 star rating.
See, we don't even know if that's
is
a
it-
free version or is it.
They did not say if it was a free,
No,
but
they
I would
didn't.
imagine the app was free and then you pay
pay for
to,
services, yeah.
to send it.
Yeah.
What they touched on, but they didn't mention in incredible detail, what I thought was interesting is actually designers, a community of designers can come onto this service and sell their designs for greeting cards. Which, hey, I might do that.
Jazz41173 says, I can't believe Cam liked this one so much. I thought it was the opposite of the intention. It's supposed to be a personal note.
It is a personal note.
Is it?
It's your handwriting.
But is it?
I feel the same.
It
yeah.
is your handwriting.
But is it really personal? Is it not? Because it's not. Like some people say they don't like Kindles and Nooks and like books in their hands, and that feels more like a book. So it's like, does this card? It's because it's not really something you did yourself. You did do it yourself, but you didn't do it on a card.
I think it's the I get what you're saying, Jazzy. But you're wrong.
I agree. You're like outsourcing your personal life a little bit. And like, I'm one of those people who still writes handwritten thank you cards for everything. Like, that's what my mom taught me. I can't not handwrite a thank you card.
This
So
is
to
still
me,
handwriting them.
But it's like sending out a typed one. It's not the same. I just,
Interesting.
I don't know. I
wonder if
like
it's a
the
gender
idea.
Handwritten versus typed.
Well, no, Jazz agrees with her. I think Jazz.
I wonder if it's a gender thing. I wonder if men think it's just the same and women think it's not.
I think it depends on how you were raised to write thank you cards.
Yeah.
There is that too. I
Yeah.
think there is that also.
Yeah.
Interesting one. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it.
And
I was blown away at the deal Kevin offered.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the best deal he's offered all season, isn't it?
So the original, what was the original offer? Was $200,000 for 6%.
Yes.
Is what they came into the take seeking, and Kevin started like teeing up his offer with this. Well, if I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna work on you. I'm bringing you all of the brides, which I agreed with him. Like you're already bringing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no customer acquisition at this point for this group of people, at least. He's like, if I'm gonna bring them all, I'm gonna need at least, and I thought he was gonna say 50% or 33 1/3, 10%, and he offered him more money.
225,000.
And everybody was like, you better freaking take that. And I wonder if Kevin was like, I meant to say 100% of the company. And he was like reeling back because that is an amazing deal. And he took it. And absolutely that was the right decision, I think. I think we're going to see this thing all over the place.
It wasn't the investor that the guy thought he was going to get either.
No.
He didn't think he was going to be walking out with Kevin.
But
That was
I think so.
unlike our next entrepreneur, took that and went with it.
Yes.
Unlike Pavlock.
Boy, they ripped him a new one, didn't
Which
they?
we will get into, but before we do, let's go around the table. James Lott Jr. Felt, are you in or are you out?
I'm in.
Chris Howard.
I'm out. I'm in.
Zoe Hewitt.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer, yeah. I'm in, I like it.
I think I'm actually a little bit like Chris on this one. I'm in, I'm out, I'm in. Because I don't think I'd use it, but I think other people would. So just from an investment standpoint, I'm in.
Oh.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay.
But it's still handwritten, Zoe.
Not when a computer does it.
But you're
right,
using
you're
the computer.
Ooh, Jazz Law. I'm a guy, and it seems impersonal to me.
Oh, sorry, Jazz.
There you go. There you go.
What does Fantasy Stats Guru think of it?
You do choose the theme of the card, though, and it has your words.
See?
How is that different from an e-card then?
Well, there you go.
It's because it's printed out physically.
And it comes
And it's
physically to your
handwriting.
mailbox.
How is that different than an e-card? You're breaking my heart.
I just don't remember 2005 very well.
If I get more e-cards with like birds flying and chirping at me saying happy birthday, I can kill myself.
Or the jib jab thing.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
Quit putting my head on somebody else's body.
Exactly. I'm a dancing cow or
I
something.
don't
I was like,
want to be Bill Clinton.
what? Yes.
You know you do.
Did you guys see that one that was going around with Bill and Hillary dancing together?
Yeah, I think
oh
that
my
was a
God,
jib
that
jab.
was funny as hell.
I think that was a jib jab.
Yeah.
Pavlock, last business of the season, and possibly of their life. 500,000 for 3.14%.
Pie.
They literally, that's why I did it.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish that he would have gone to the full extent
Yeah, exactly.
for 3.14159265.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Like, I wish he would have done that. But anyway, so this is the... Chris, can you explain what this is
Yes,
exactly to
I
me?
love
Yes,
this.
oh, yeah.
So I bought one.
Where is it?
And I didn't bring it with me.
What the hell?
Yeah,
I know.
show and tell.
I've just packed up the place, so it's like
okay.
I'm in between places. But
in a box somewhere.
yeah, it's in a box someplace
your
in
cat.
storage.
I thought you moved like 10 episodes ago.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a long story. So, anyways, I bought this thing.
We can get onto it in the after.
Yeah, the after show. We'll
You
be
got
talking
10
about the
minutes.
after show.
You got 10 minutes.
No, but I bought it, and because I come from personal development, and I teach different types of techniques and stuff for changing emotional states and that type of thing. So Ivan Pavlov, obviously with his dogs, we all know that he would feed the dogs when he'd sound a tuning fork or ring a bell or do other types of sounds, and it became neurologically linked with the dogs being fed, so that when the moment they heard the sound, they would go into that state once again. They'd begin to salivate.
Yeah.
And so anchors are things that we can set in our own life that where there's a specific trigger that triggers a certain response in our life. And when somebody has something like a phobic response of something, it's usually an example of one trial learning where the person saw a snake and the emotional state was such, it peaked so fast and so hard, they went into fright.
Yeah.
And so now every time they see the snake, it's automatically linked. It's neurologically linked with the state of fright. So when you take the Pavlov, the theory is that if you fire that, if you push the anchor, I'll call it, at the time that you do the unwanted behavior, it becomes neurologically linked, so it kills the desire to do the behavior. So if you were eating ice cream, you're supposed to push this thing, and it shocks the hell out of you. It's not a little shock. It's like I would jump every time I do it. It's negative reinforcement, so it's not the way that I would do it, nor is it the way that I would teach to do it. However, I wanted to try it, and that's why I got this thing. And the reality is, I don't know why Mark went off on he went crazy telling me he was a con man, he was this and that. I believe in it. I saw them raising money on Kickstarter, so they did a couple of Kickstarter campaigns. They now have an alarm clock that will shock you in your bed if you don't
So
get up.
here's the thing. I think the alarm clock is probably the most reasonable of what, in my opinion, of what you did.
That's why you want to be woken up?
No. I didn't say I wanted to, but
That's if you hit snooze,
they have vibrating
right?
pad ones too. They have vibrating pads that'll shake your bed. But so let's go back to the Pavlov thing, right?
Right.
The bell ring.
Yeah.
The dog didn't ring the bell himself.
No, but it doesn't.
And this is you're pressing it yourself.
Right.
I'm not going to press it myself.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole problem with the product is that they can't, and they're working on ways they're doing it through crowdfunding to explore how they can identify the patterns that you do
Of the motion
without without having to push the thing. That's the glitch in the product. I have other ideas that I've been actually thinking about in relationship to this particular product, which would make it 1,000 times better that I don't want to talk about because I've actually been going down the path of figuring out how to make this product better.
After show.
Yeah, because the negative behavior is not the way to change the pattern. What you want to do is interrupt the pattern with the shock and then do something else. And they're not doing the something else.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, why would I shock myself?
Well,
And then even then we have to figure out the automation. It seems like it'd be an imperfect system where I tell myself I don't want to eat cookies anymore, and then it like recognizes it from the motion. I try to eat a celery stick and I get electrocuted in the face.
just like
You know what I mean?
I know.
Zoe, what do you think of this one?
You know, it's funny, as Chris was talking, it made me think of those electric collars for dogs that are really considered inhumane. Like I've been a volunteer at the Pasadena Humane Society, and like, you know, that's one of the things that we talk about is like, don't put those on your dog. They're humane. Would you shock yourself? And it's kind of interesting because in this case, the answer is yes, you would shock yourself. I didn't think it was a bad idea. I mean, the dog has no choice. You have a choice if you want to break a behavior, okay. And I could see, I guess, if you're motivated enough to break that behavior, that you would press the button instead of whatever the behavior is, whether it's eating a cookie or, I don't know, picking your nose. So whatever it is, you know, you press the button. So I get that. And I was also surprised that Mark went like nutso on this. I mean, I didn't think this guy was a con man.
I didn't think so either.
I don't think he was I don't think con man was the right word. However, he was teeing up the pitch with other people's research that wasn't about the
He might have
product
delivered it in
specifically.
ways that we didn't see too. He might have placed a bigger emphasis on that wasn't on camera. Yeah.
James, what are your thoughts on this guy?
I don't have anything about him, but I hated this product.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in self-harm.
Yeah.
To change habits. I'm a certified life coach, and I teach in my business. There's other ways psychologically you can work on breaking a habit. And I just think that this is something I just completely hate this program. Because almost what you were saying, Zoe, about the collars for dogs and cats and things. I just completely am against it. And I just think that there's other ways of positive reinforcement on to break a habit. I don't think you necessarily need to change a behavior and have a negative connotation to it to change a behavior. There's other ways to do it. So I was completely against this product. Completely.
And I think studies show in general that negative reinforcement does not work.
Right.
Studies show psychologically that you have to recognize the behavior and then do something else
Yes.
and make it positive.
Pain motivated performance. Well, if you kick the dog is going to act erratically. So pain motivated performance or pain motivation can cause erratic performance or unwanted results. But you could get the same thing to play the devil's advocate and take the other side. They have seminars out here where they'll snap a rubber band if you're doing. You don't have to pay the $150. You snap the rubber band and it hurts. And I was always against that, quite frankly, too. But I bought the product because I wanted to see, and I see that there's an evolution of the product that can occur, because it doesn't have to be a thing that shocks you and hurts you, just something that interrupts the pattern that you're running. Something that it's like etching, going like this on a record or a CD, so you can't play it the same way. So you just gotta you interrupt the pattern and then you take it someplace else. And I think there's ways to do that.
I mean, if my patterns could be interrupted with, say, a ball of chocolate,
Oh, yours can't
then
be
I'd
interrupted.
be all set.
I think if the thing made a noise that I didn't like
Or smell?
nails on the chalkboard,
But then you'd bother everyone around you.
I could just.
Well, you know what?
Smell
But
that
also,
way.
what I thought was just really strange that he had a viral video of him being slapped over and over again. Some other habit-changing thing. I'm like, is this guy? I just was like,
That is an interesting thing to brag about. Right?
yeah. I'm like, I think he was a fraud. I don't think he was a con man or anything. I just thought, I don't really like him very much. To tell you the truth, and I don't even know him.
I don't think Kevin liked him very much.
Yeah, I like.
Oh my God.
Well, he didn't like him afterwards, obviously.
Let's talk about that for a second. So, everybody else goes out. Kevin says he sees potential in it, but he does not like this guy. But he gives him an offer anyways. He says, "Your spontaneous combustion and ADD combined." But he gives him an offer of $500,000 in debt with a 3.14% equity, which is what he was initially asking for the most part. Return of 7.5% interest at 24 months. I don't think that's that unreasonable. Again, I mean, it's a little difficult because you're giving money back when you want to put money into the business, and that's always a weird situation. But this was not like an irrational, you need to pay it back 24 months at 20%, plus I get a $5,
Override on
royalty
each one.
off
Yeah.
everything. And if you don't give it to me, I'll shock you in the head. You know.
Over and over
But
again.
7.5% is high. I mean, you can get a home loan for less than 7.5%. So I feel like at that point, why doesn't he go to the bank?
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But
He
it doesn't
probably-
get a strategic
yeah.
partnership.
And the reality is I mean, they've been doing their crowdfunding. They funded it on GoFundMe, if I'm not, or Indiegogo, one of the two. I don't know.
IndieGoFundMe.
Yeah, IndieGoFundMe.
Yeah.
Because I looked at their campaign. I mean, they brought in $800,000 in pre-sales, and now with the alarm clock. So this is an old episode because with the alarm clock that they just put out, they've raised close to. I think they've raised another $800,000 for the alarm clock.
Yeah, because Alfred said on his video that he did this like last March or something,
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
He did his.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Kevin said, the guy said, I want to deal with anybody but you. Now, do we think this is a wise thing to say?
No,
It's
of course
just
not.
rude.
It's rude.
I mean, forget if he believes it or not. Just be polite
I
and say
know.
no thank you.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
That's why, because I'm sorry, but you made yourself look like an ass on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I want anybody but you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Next time you think about saying that, press the button, my friend. Press the button, and
Just
all your
press the
worries
button,
will
my
go away. Let's go around the table. James Lott Jr.
I am so out. I couldn't be more outer than I am out already.
All right.
I'm in, but I want to do some things with it.
Okay, Zoe Hewitt.
I'm out.
What are those things? I'm kind of curious. Kind of scared. I'm gonna be out. I thought that there was gonna be another like what are those Fitbits? I thought it was also gonna double as a Fitbit.
Well, it should.
It should.
It should. Yeah, because if those, if they
How
have,
much do you need to wear?
And be a garage opener.
and be open the garage and collect the cat's
press the
fee
wrong button
for
and
testing.
shock yourself. Anyway, so that's that, you guys. That's season 7.
Wait, what about our update?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Because it wasn't really. It was just.
It
It was,
Here's
an
the
update.
update. Ready? Watch Shark Tank next year.
right. Exactly. That's what it was basically.
I just didn't want Jazz and Fantasy Stats to think like, hey, what happened
You're
to
right.
the rest
Oh,
of the show?
and
Okay,
Fantasy
there
Stats was like, I was in the studio this season, so you guys must have had him when he was in
Yes,
Oh.
yes. Fantasy
look
Stats
like?
Guru.
What?
Huh?
He's a real person?
Yes, he's a
I
gentleman.
thought that
young
was your mom on
gentleman.
the computer.
there. What episode? I gotta watch it. What episode were you on? I can watch it.
I don't know if he was on the episode.
He stays in the studio. Oh, he's in the
He
studio.
was in the studio. I don't think
Wait,
he was
with us?
on the episode. It was before.
I was here the whole season.
It might have been one of the days you were out.
I know him?
Might have been
no,
one of
I
the
wasn't
days you were
here.
out.
You could know him.
I think it was one of the days you were out.
You could know him really well.
You're saying from the very beginning.
We'll have to check the archives. But big thanks to all of you that watched this season, all of you that listened, shared, all of the entrepreneurs, businesses that came on as our guests. We thank you very much. And let's go around and say our goodbyes. James Lott Jr. Any final thoughts?
I'm going on vacation in 2 days. I'm James Lott Jr. You can find me at James Lott Jr. And I'm James Lott Jr.
There it is.
That's it.
I'm Chris Howard. You can find me at James Lott. No, you can find me at Chris Howard Live on Twitter and Instagram, and on legendarylivingdaily.com.
There it
You
is.
can find tips, business building stuff, all sorts of fun stuff, and legendarylivingtv.com for YouTube.
I'm Chloe Hewitt.
Yes!
And you can find Thank you.
She's not Chloe.
Yes.
In case you were wondering. So I'm Zoe Hewitt. You can find me at Zoe Said What. That's Zoe Said What. You can also, that's on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on YouTube at Zoe Hewitt Hosting, where I do a weekly movie analysis show. So hey, come find me there until Shark Tank starts up again. And where can they find you?
At
Camshaft.
the only camshaft, Twitter and Instagram. Wednesdays, Guilty Movie Pleasures on the Popcorn Talk Network. Radio Millennial on iTunes, Cameron Lewis Show on iTunes, Super Organizer Show on iTunes, everywhere on iTunes and iHeartRadio. We'll see you next season. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Later.
Going to see
I
after.
missed an
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.